it ain't beneath me to turn a few tricks. And aside from a case of the clap, it never did me no harm. I may be sleazy, but Lord, I got good at trash charm. Well, eating from a dumpster, sleeping in a ditch, but there ain't no way I'm gonna bitch. I ain't got nobody, so I ain't tied down. Do what I want, when I want, all over this town. Lord, I got good at trash charm, 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 charm. Let's go. Oh yeah, go get it. I may be easy, but Lord, I got good at trash. May be skeezy, Lord, I got good at trash. Charm, 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 charm. Good at trash, charm.
Not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.
An unknown species of horror is born as science fiction becomes science fact.
If you find any problems out there at the Colby place, just keep it to yourself.
He's over at Colby's. He's found another 20 or 30 hills just like the one we burned.
I mean, this right here is scientific phenomenon. As you know, all species of megalomorphs are cannibalistic. If you put them together, they'll kill each other off. They just don't colonize like ants or bees do.
An army of deadly predators, searching, destroying anything in their path. Why did they come? What do they want? In the tradition of the great science fiction thrillers, Dimension Pictures presents Kingdom of the Spiders, starring William Shatner, Tiffany Poling, Woody Strode, and introducing Alta Reese Davis.
The spiders in this area have organized themselves into an aggressive army.
I've never seen anything like it.
And one minute they weren't there, and the next minute they were everywhere.
Jump at a girl.
Listen, there's thousands of them out there. We'll never make it.
Why haven't we heard from the sheriff?
He must know we're trapped in here. I'm telling you, I don't think we should chance it.
Your nightmares will never be the same. Kingdom of the Spiders. The next victim could be you.
Tonight, science fiction becomes science fact on the Drive-In Asylum late movie. Welcome, fans of fantastic films. And we're very excited that me and my co-host Sam Panico get to welcome. The pointing is always messed up.
Yeah.
Lance Schibi and Erica Shultz from Unsung Horrors. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Sorry that we're about to fuck up your nightmares forever, according to that trailer. They'll never be the same. If you enjoyed them, now they're over.
Owe you an apology in advance.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I laughed like 8 times during that trailer. I love this movie, and I'm so glad you guys picked it. Thank you. Why did you guys pick it? I'm excited to learn.
I mean, I love this movie. I think it's definitely in my top 5 animal attack movies. It's just a perfect. It's just perfect. I can't pick anything out that I'm like, yeah, but this. I love it. I mean, well, I guess the only thing is like real spider deaths, like that. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so much fun, and if people ask like, oh, what are some good animal attack movies? I would always put this on a list for somebody. And also, selfishly, like there's child death in it. So that's where I go to.
Yeah, I deferred to Erica to make the selection because I know it is in her book, but I actually had never seen it before until recently. So yeah, I'm glad she picked it. I checked it off my watch list. It's top Shatner. It's Shatner at his best. Love it.
This is like the era of Shatner living in his car, almost. Like he talks in his book about that, and then like making movies like this in The Devil's Reign. Like when we think of him today, we're like, oh, he's always been rich. No, not this time. No, at this point in his life, this is the struggle of Shatner. We talk about this movie seriously almost every episode, so I know Bill was excited to show it. My favorite thing, spoiler, about this movie is the last shot. They're like, should we make effects or should we just get a painting? And then they just went with the painting, which is amazing. Yeah. If that happened today, the vitriol thrown at Bud Cardis would have been ridiculous. But back then, we just accepted things. We're like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect in it. But I loved watching Shatner just red and sunburned the entire time. He just looks completely like red.
Yeah.
I've never seen him so red.
He goes for it too. He's got spiders on his face. Like I couldn't, like, I don't care if I was living in my car. You couldn't put a spider on my face. That's just not going to happen. So, shout out to him.
Yeah. That's how Tiffany Bowling got the role, because out of everyone that read, she was the one that didn't have a problem working with spiders.
Yeah.
Reported.
She was a natural. Yeah. I mean, she was picking them up and just very excited to see them in each scene.
She didn't care.
Yeah.
This is the time, and I was like 5 when this came out. So this was the time that every movie was out to get me, like either killer bees or killer spiders or all, do you know what I mean? These kind of things. So like when I would see the trailer for this on TV as a kid, I'm like, oh, I can't deal with this because spiders do get in my house. This is nightmarish to children. And then if I had seen it and some of the things that happen to kids, I luckily saw it when I was a little bit older.
Yeah. There was one, what was it? I don't remember that. It's probably close by in years, but I think it's The Swarm, where there's like this fever dream of a giant bee like over someone's bed. And I remember seeing that in the trailer and I was like, oh, fuck no, absolutely not.
There's the one scene where they're all inside that Volkswagen and the windshield wipers are going and they're moving bees. And I was like, oh no, that's going to happen. Because every night on the news when I was a kid, it was like the killer bees are getting closer to America. And what will we do? And it's all people could talk about in the mid 70s. Yeah. And I definitely remember my dad having to take me out to the porch and have a talk with me that I was driving everybody nuts about killer bees. I was probably 4.
Oh, Sam.
Yes, my wife just asked what happened. She wasn't alive then. She missed out on the fear of the killer bees. She was just a glimmer at that point. And they mated them with other bees to make them a little less angry. They're
They
only
weren't
they're
shy.
just maimers now.
They
Yeah.
weren't shy.
They weren't shy bees.
Yeah, shy bees.
That's too early for this.
It is.
Shy bees are my favorite.
Mine too. Sometimes they're annoying. But
Yeah.
Speaking of child deaths, maybe we should explain that comment.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Like, yay.
Here we go. This is Erica Schultz's. Is this your first book, Erica?
This is my first book. And I chose a doozy of a topic that apparently a lot of people have shown some interest in. So I'm happy about it. And it's got just under 1,200 films in the book. Not all of them have a write-up, but they're separated by chapters, by cause of death. So there's animal attacks. So obviously this film's in that chapter. Sharp edges. There's a chapter called Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. That's bombs and explosions. So yeah, it's been something I've been working on for quite a few years. And it literally just got in my hands about a month ago, not even a month ago. And yeah, it's been a long journey and I'm happy with how it turned out.
Right on. Sam's got his copy there too.
Yeah. And I like Lance drew someone mentioned Saw It in Precinct 13. Lance you guys did a little comic book in the middle of it about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it because everybody should pick up the book to read it. But Erica came up with this really witty story of it's pretty much the perspective of the ice cream cone, and this ice cream cone is witnessing this child be murdered.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun to draw.
That is fantastic. Now I definitely am going to get the book because I want.
Yeah.
I have to know that.
I had my mom read it and she was like, "Did you sexualize an ice cream cone?" And I was like, "I mean, yeah." And she's like, "Okay."
Yeah, I had to take breaks drawing those. It's hot. It's getting hot in here.
We did actually the drive-in a couple weeks ago. We got to see the children at the drive-in, so you would have been quite excited by that. It was pretty awesome to see on the big screen.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm doing a few screenings tied in with the book, and one of them's at the Frida Cinema in Santa Ana, and they're going to be showing the children on 16 millimeter.
Oh, wow.
And then when I get back from California, I'm doing another screening with Ivan from Bat City Cinema. He also works for AGFA. And we're going to be doing another 16 millimeter screening. We're still figuring out which one it's going to be because one is being kind of shady about, lending the print kind of thing. So we're still figuring that out, but we got a couple lined up and really excited about I've never seen it on 16. So I'm like,
well, we saw a Blu-ray projection. We didn't actually see it on celluloid, unfortunately.
I was thinking about that movie today when I was cutting the grass, which often happens. Like when I have nothing to do, I'm thinking, and I'm like, that whole town was crazy before anything happened. Like it was a bubbling cauldron of something was going to happen in that town. And the adults are all, the best mother in the movie is a smoker. So I mean, that should, like everybody is horrible in that movie.
I'm always annoyed that the subplot got cut out. It's not even a subplot. It just shows the two parents that are in the house arguing about their daughter, and then she comes and burns the mother up on the porch. They had a scene before that where she was revealed to be, a heavy drinker. She was drunk all the time. So, every one of those parents just had a huge glaring fault.
I told Bill as we were watching it, I'd like to make an HBO or Max now, whatever it's called, but like one of those like cable series of the children where we get to really learn the whole like history of the town. And then in the last episode of the first season, that's when the thing happens at the nuclear plant. And then it's like, wow, that's what a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Also, it'll still have that chicken hand in the logo too. I have no idea why that chicken thing. It's seeing it on a giant drive-in screen really hammers it home. You're like, what? It's like a Grateful Dead logo. Like, what's going on in there?
Do either of you have any insight to that?
I don't. I tried looking into that, and I have no idea. I do know that the dog that dies in that was a very good boy, and he got adopted right after that. So that makes me happy.
Oh,
That
good.
is good.
There was a happy ending to the children after all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys also do obviously a podcast. If anyone hasn't heard it, I listen every week, but why don't you tell our audience a little about it?
Well, it's called Unsung Horrors. It's every 2 weeks. We have an episode where we rotate picks. Eric and I each pick a movie for the single episode, and we pick underseen horror films. We go by one rule that the movie that we're picking, the horror movie we pick, has under 1,000 views on Letterboxd. So under 1,000 logs on Letterboxd, and it's kind of it's an easy rule to follow. But sometimes we'll have some themed months, Shawgust, and we'll do Shaw Brothers horror. We have a No Rules November, which I think is even harder.
That's the toughest month, because that's when we don't abide the 1,000 views limit, and we're like, we can pick whatever we want. And then it's like, well, now there's too much to pick from.
Yeah.
So those ones are always really tough.
But we do deep dives into the filmmakers, other arts that they're in, not just film. If we find out that if they do music or something, we'll cover that. That's always fun. Yeah, a lot of the production behind the movie, anything we can find. Spend a lot of time doing research. Usually it's just us two, but we'll have guests on here and there.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and like Lance said, we have thematic months. We just had our last April Showers of Blood, because it's getting a little tough to find movies we want to cover that have blood in the title.
A lot of good movies to talk about, to spend an hour on, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
There's no bad movies.
No.
But...
Well, there are.
To spend that much
blood-sucking
time,
pharaohs in Pittsburgh. But anyway.
We're from Pittsburgh, and we would like to apologize for that movie. It is, when I heard you guys do it, I'm like, I really hope they don't like this movie.
That was one of my early picks when we started out. And I'm a champion for it.
That's fine.
Erica, I thought that was the end of the podcast, like 4 episodes in.
Yeah,
so.
It was. But yeah, we also have, Jollo January. And then in October, we do a Horror Gives Back charity challenge where we have a different category for every day of the month. And we ask that anyone who's playing along with it, they don't have to follow our categories. It's just there to help. But whatever number of horror movies you're watching that month, donate $1 or more to charity. We usually have a fundraiser set up. Last few years, we've done it for Best Friends Animal Society. So, because we're both big animal lovers, humans, not so much. So, yeah, so we have a lot of fun doing it. It's it started out of like the pandemic project where I was like, I miss my friend.
Yeah, it was late 2020, so we're coming up on a little over
on 4.
Coming up on 4 years, yeah. And we've built this, a great community. We have a Discord channel too. A lot of people are active. A lot of people respond and throw suggestions our ways and double feature picks and stuff like that. So it's been a lot of fun doing this.
I've discovered a lot of stuff from you guys, especially that remake of Let Sleeping Corpses Lie, that the Asian one.
That's South Korean one, yeah.
Yeah, it is the craziest thing. It blew my mind. I was like, how does this exist?
Sam talked about that for weeks.
Yeah.
I need to know. I need some Blu-ray label to say they're going to put it out, and someone has a connection that can find out how this movie, who decided this movie needed to be made in South Korea? Like, who are you and what's the story behind it? I need to know.
Why do the zombies have silver faces? Like, it's crazy. And anybody that watched Alvaro Passeri movies is awesome with me because I love his films.
Yes.
I got to talk to him for like 5 minutes. His answers he's not really good at English, but I got a couple of his answers. But I want those movies to come out on Blu-ray so bad. I know Plankton came out on DVD, but I think Deadly Games definitely does because I want more people to see that movie because it's like one of the wildest movies I've ever seen. Like it's so good.
Yeah, I would love to see a box set of Passeri, like all of it, like even like the ones where he discovered like CGI. I'm like, that's okay. You know, I love you, Mummy Theme Park. Let's do this. You know,
I've been trying to get that
Fine.
on the show for so long. Joel's like, people are going to hate that movie so
They
much.
are, but it's
Yeah.
funny.
Do it.
It's pretty much a done deal now that we've said this.
Yeah, I love that a big chunk of that movie is about the money of running a theme park and like what kind of beer they make and what the merchandise is like. And it's like, this is a horror movie. Are we like get to the horror? And it's like, no, it's on his own. It's definitely his vision of whatever his vision is. That's why I love it. And then every once in a while you just get like a crazy effect and you're like, how did he do that? Like, when I watch even his CGI ones, I'm like, he really jammed it. He's one of the few people where I'm like, I'm cool with him doing CGI. That's totally fine because it lets him make these things. And then I went to his site because of you guys, and his sculptures are even more horrifying.
Yeah, he does the animatronic stuff
Like,
and all the moving animals.
Monkeys, and oh my god, it's terrifying, but you can't look away. I wasted a whole day while I was supposed to be working just watching his stuff on his channel, and I was changed.
Yeah, he said to me he saw the Thing, the John Carpenter's version of the Thing, and he decided to stop doing effects and start directing because he thought he could make a movie like that, and that movie inspired him. So I thought that was kind of cool. Like, I could see it. He thinks it's like the happiest movie. He told me, and I'm like, okay.
I love him. Oh my god,
yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah. And you guys also talked about Renato Pacelli, who's one of my obsessions. So
I
love him so much. I've told about it on the show before, but when I bought Black Magic rights here, the clerk at IDES said, "You sure you want this movie? It sucks." And I was like, I was incensed. I was like, "Hey, fuck you." And I was like, "I'm buying this movie." Like, and he's like, "Well, we have so many better movies than this." And I'm like,
rude.
He's like, and I was like, "Why? I'm spending like, it's in a store, so it's like $35-$40." I'm like, "Come on, like just let me buy it." Like, don't shame me into like I said, "Oh, he's made way worse movies than this. I just want this one." Because it's like,
I would be like, you know what? Give me 2 copies. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm going to show you. Like,
he obviously wasn't the person that ordered it because he wouldn't have tried to talk you out of paying for it.
Yeah. Aren't you guys having enough problems with Amazon running a brick and mortar store in the middle of Pittsburgh? Come on, guys.
It's a strange business tactic.
This store in Pittsburgh, if you haven't gone there and been treated like crap, you haven't been there. So like, it's like,
they're like that hot dog shop where they're mean to you.
Oh yeah.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
That's pretty much IDES.
Yeah.
That's funny. I think it's funny, Sam, that you said like we've introduced you to films, because I feel like every time I go to look up something on Letterboxd or anything, I'm like, oh, Sam's seen it.
yeah, you've led me down rabbit holes with some of
Oh.
your reviews on some movies, and it's helped me with some of my picks.
Oh,
So
well, thank you, man.
I actually have a movie in mind that I've been sitting on to ask you to be a guest on. So
Oh, wow.
it's terrible.
What is it?
I love it. I love it.
It's Jess Franco, isn't it?
It's not Jess Franco. No, we haven't tackled Jess Franco.
No,
that's
a big ask.
subject.
We've been asked to do Andy Milligan, and I'm like, that's a big ask to do. It's a lot. Like when we did a Steckler episode, we had Zach Carlson on, because I was like, I'm not doing a Steckler episode without someone that has written extensively about him. So, because I've seen plenty of his movies. I named my dog Boo Boo. I mean, like but there's certain directors that I just am like, I don't want to spend months researching for one episode. I would rather like do an appropriate amount of research and bring in an expert that can talk about them, kind of thing. And Jess Franco is a big ask, so I don't know that we'll ever.
I just watched The Thrill Killers the other day.
Oh, that's my favorite
yeah.
Steckler. I love that movie so much.
It's awesome. I had totally forgotten about that movie because I found an ad for it that I ran on the page, and I was like, what is this? That was one of those movies where they would put on a mask and run onto the audience.
Yeah.
And there was an ad for it, and they changed the title to like The Maniacs Are Loose or something like that. I was like, what movie is that? And then I reminded myself before long, I had pulled it right up, and I was sucked into it. I was like, I forgot how awesome this was.
I talked about that I was on the Making Tarantino podcast this week, and he had never seen any Steckler movies. And I'm like, yeah, like he sent masks to theaters and said, have someone put these on. And like, I'm always amazed by that. Like if I was a theater manager, I get this box, I'm like, they sent me a mask and some knives that I'm supposed to send my kids out there. I'm like, yeah, like that's awesome. That's all.
It's amazing.
I can't even imagine being in the audience for those, like getting to see what that was like. And I always my mom told me, like, you know, our theater in town played the Tingler, but you know, we were such a small town, they didn't have the seats anymore. They didn't send any of the seats with it. So you just got the Tingler. But it's like I miss like that era of movies. Like I wish I could have been alive for it and seen it.
Yeah, I was wondering who's going to first mention a Corman production, I know it's William Castle, but it's with the news with Corman that just dropped. I don't want to be a bummer, but that sucks.
No,
I see a lot of comments in there going on.
Yeah.
So it's just heard the news on that.
Yeah, I always thought he would live forever, and then I saw him on the Joe Bob thing this year, and he looked like so frail, and I was like, oh, it was like heartbreaking. I couldn't watch it anymore. I'm like, oh. I'm used to him. He was so friendly in all these interviews, and then like you watch like Galaxy of Terror, and you're like, this is a horrifying movie. That, you know, I talk about that one all the time because like I love that he would always tell people like, well, the foreign investors have asked for this scene, so we need that worm to assault somebody, and they're like, who are these foreign investors? I imagine some Japanese billionaires like, yes, bring the worm out, and it's like. So seeing that on the big screen, Bill, that was terrifying.
I loved every second. I think that's one of my favorite of the, you know, pseudo aliens that came out. That and Extra, it's really hard to determine, but I just loved watching it big screen.
I like Extra because it's just very upsetting to people. Like when I've recommended it to some people, and they're like, "Well, I saw a full-grown man crawl out of a woman," and and I was like, like that's how they started. Like they were like start strong. Extra is a strong starter.
Yeah.
So
do you have a favorite Corman, Bill or Sam?
A favorite Corman. Well, I'm a huge fan of the Poe cycle films. It would have to be one of those, I guess. Like actually as something that was it was exploitive, but it was also arty, you know. So those were probably his most I don't know, maybe normal movies that he put out there. Is that an okay word to use?
No, I like Mask of the Red Death a lot, and I like Pit and the Pendulum a lot. My Last Man song has a whole song about Pit and the Pendulum, which it's like word for word what Vincent Price says about wallowing his wife into the wall. Like I saw that when we saw that one night, Bill. I might have been Mask of the Red Death was terrifying to watch because I got that. I think that's the night that I ate those brownies and ended up eating pepper at the gas station.
I had those same brownies, and it was amazing because I was just like sucked into that world watching.
And at the end, when all
that was the first time it was the first time I saw a lot of those movies.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen Mask of the Red Death, Premature. Was it Premature
Burial?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to jump on you.
No, that's good. And I think at the end when all the Colors of Death came out, I think that's when I peaked on whatever high I was on, and I was like, oh no, death is everywhere. And it was fun to watch it driving. It was a good experience. I saw Premature Burial way too young. It was on at someone's house when I was like 7, and after that I was like, oh no, that's a rough one. I like all the I like so many of his movies. But yeah, those are probably two of the best that he directed. And then I really dig like all the, you know, the different people that came from him, like obviously like Alan Arkish and different directors. So it's
Dante,
like Boxcar Birth is really good too for one that he's produced. Like it's crazy because he brought so many foreign movies over too that were like major films through Janus Films and stuff. And like, you know, to the rest of the world, he's like, oh yeah, he's just like a schlock guy, but he did so much different stuff.
Yeah.
Do you guys have favorites of Roger Corman?
It's a tough pick. I think like the Poe cycle for sure is up there. Little Shop of Horrors, it's just such the like ultimate micro budget, like fun movie to me. And then probably controversial, not here, but like in other circles, opinion is the Humanoids from the Deep, just because of like the production of that, and the woman who directed it, and like basically like her film got taken away from her, and
Yeah.
Corman added his overtly more boobs and sexualization to it, and it's like, but I like it for that, so I'm not mad about it, and that's
Again, the foreign investors wanted to see
yes,
where men tear women apart, and
yes,
that's what they asked for.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that movie dearly.
They
Bucket of
played
Blood,
the driver a
Taylor.
while back. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
nice.
love Bucket of Blood. Corman produced. I love Rock and Roll High School. To go back to Alan Arkish, I mean, that movie I could watch all day long. I could watch Biff Randall and Joey just singing in a bedroom together.
Hell yeah.
I love that movie.
But
yeah, all of Corman.
They played Rock and Roll High School at our planetarium here when they had the, I think it was 4K of it, and it played on like a 90-foot screen. And that scene in the bedroom is one of my favorite scenes in any movie. Like, it makes me so emotional because that's like so rock and roll, and it's like, man, I love Rock and Roll High School so much.
Yeah,
I saw a screening. I saw a screening with when Marky Ramone's autobiography came out. He came to town, and they showed Rock and Roll High School. It was a digital copy of DCP, but it was a lot of fun. He did a Q&A afterwards. It's a great book too, by the way. That's when I learned that Sting was an asshole. I don't like Sting. I'm not a fan of the Police or Sting.
Me either.
He badmouthed the Ramones.
Oh,
dare he?
I love that everybody. I can't remember which Ramones. Like, his only line is, "Let's get more pizza." That's
Dee Dee, isn't
Dee
it?
Dee, yeah.
That's all he
And
can say.
it was like 50 takes for that one line.
I read that the fans there were, people knew that the Ramones were there filming this movie, and then fans would line the chain link fence, and they would throw drugs over the fence, and Dee Dee would just pick them up and just start taking them, like when he has a scene coming up.
Nice.
It's amazing. It's like Mad Magazine come to life. Like, there's so many weird things in it. Like, there's an anthropomorphic rat family that has a child that goes to that school. Like, what? And nobody like bats an eye. It's just like, yeah, that's how it is. It's
so good.
So Kingdom of the Spiders. Maybe we should talk about William Shatner's finest moment other than Impulse.
He is styling an Impulse for sure.
Oh, his clothing in Impulse is like, my wife said to me while we were watching it at the drive-in, she's like, "Why don't you dress like this?" And I was those levels of plaids that he wears are really amazing in this.
Yeah.
I love the one. I'm sure you're going to show it here, Bill. The one poster that he's holding a torch like really close to his crotch. In it, I'm like, every time I saw that, I'm like, what is going on with this image?
Yeah, it's an odd choice, but this movie was lucky because it had so many advertising campaigns. This was sort of like a teaser. This is interesting.
Yeah, that's a creepy one.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I want to see that more of that in this movie. Unfortunately, you do get to see some of it.
Yeah.
When it first starts happening, the webbing and stuff is introduced. I was kind of like shocked, like, oh man, that's terrifying. Like, this is good.
Yeah. As a kid, I first saw this on HBO when I was 8 years old.
Oh wow.
And we'll find out later in this ad gallery that Kingdom of the Spiders did not play theatrically in Pittsburgh anywhere, which is really strange. At least I find it strange. But anyway, here's the ad that everyone's talking about.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, what's going on? And then there's like another face of him behind it. Like, that's pure Shatner there.
Yeah, that's definitely got the Shatner stare.
He's definitely holding it in a position.
Yeah, it's like an Adam Sandler movie or something.
Don't stop it.
Phallic symbol, torch, anti-spider.
I like that you got an Empire of the Ants ad into this too. Like,
yeah, that's why I left that in there.
Yeah. Oh, poor Joan Collins.
She had a rough time in that movie, didn't she?
She did. Oh.
Yeah,
if I saw this ad, this ad makes you want to see this movie. I'm glad we're going to watch it in a couple minutes, but I want to watch it again after seeing this ad.
and the all-new Bunny Club.
Wow.
Whatever that. What a lewd and lascivious place the Bunny Club must have been. This is bizarre.
Whoa.
New ISIS? What am I looking at?
This
double
is
feature drive-in?
Yeah. It's a drive-in double feature, and they put it with Garden of the Dead, which is bizarre because Garden of the Dead was a 1 hour long half feature made to go with Grave of the Vampire, and you never saw them split up like this. But here it is.
Wow.
It's an early night.
Nothing can compare to this, though. This is, by the way, very early in the theatrical run of Kingdom of the Spiders. It was July of 1977, the end of July. So
Did you go back in time and program this? Because this is all your movies here. I mean, Dark August in the middle of the run, like that's a
what the fuck? Dark
people are going to be
August?
destroyed after Dark August. Yeah.
And what about that final feature?
Yeah, Revenge Planet of the Apes.
You know what that is?
That's
Isn't that the TV?
No.
What am I
It
thinking?
is Tombs of the Blind Dead.
Tombs of Blind. That's right. I remember we talked about that with
Revenge
Laird.
from the
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a rare instance of that playing theatrically.
Oh.
Wow.
It played
They put it on last because people couldn't be mad at that point. Because they were tired. They wore them out with Dark August, and then they said, "Yeah, this isn't really Planet of the Apes movie."
No one was going to be there by 2:20 in the morning.
You'd be like, "This is what I came for, just for that movie." Yeah.
Oh, they wouldn't be able to get rid of me. I would be furious if they tried to throw me out.
Yeah.
Legend of the Wolf Woman.
Dimension Pictures had that's one of their films. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Revenge from Planet Ape was the actual title. By the way, we had a question in chat. It was actually called Revenge from Planet Ape, so as not to be confused legally with a Planet of the Apes movie.
Yeah.
And they marketed it as if it was another entry in the Planet of the Apes. Hard to believe, but it is true. And you can watch that alternate intro on YouTube if you don't believe me.
I'll be doing that. I don't believe you, Bill.
I encourage you to be skeptical, and you will find that it is true. I included this because, look, it says that none of the ads for Kingdom of the Spiders were suitable for publication in the Corsicana, California.
Wow.
People had a choice, and the choice was Rocky or Kingdom of the Spiders. Wow.
I think I'm going to see some spiders. That was terrible. I'm sorry. I'll stop. God
Was
damn.
that Stallone?
I tried. I'm so sorry.
He probably tried out for it.
Yo, spiders!
He really wanted the part of Roger in Squirm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Shatner?
No, Stallone.
Oh, Stallone.
Yeah. I actually, I just listened to Lieberman's commentary of that the other week, and I remember him talking about that, and I was like, holy shit, that's insane. There was a few other names he dropped that were pretty well known that almost made it in there.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it, to think that we could have gotten one of them. But I put this up there. What's wrong with this picture? Who can tell me?
Is that the giant spider invasion?
Yes.
That poster, yeah.
Absolutely. Schibi, that is the answer.
The other ads weren't good for publication because they offended people in Corsica, and then they called this paper and maybe put the other spiders in.
Yeah, the Kingdom of Spiders is almost the title.
I like that poster. That one, that ad is freaky.
Yeah. And look at the co-feature, Legend of Spider Forest.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
That's a weird one. Wow, I love it. I like that this ad is kind of telling you what to do. Go with the crowd. Enjoy a movie. Movies are fun. What do you... I'm kind of freaked
subliminal.
out. Yeah, those were they didn't make the other ads had this over top of it, and you never saw the subliminals. This one showed you the subliminals. I love the Kingdom of the Spiders logo, though. It's kind of metally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sweet.
And remember, science fiction can become science fact.
Yeah. It's in the great science fiction tradition, Bill.
a living, crawling hell on earth. That's melodramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PG. There's no hell on earth that's PG, is there?
It wouldn't be
Yeah.
like the missing footage in Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Or what was that, Event Horizon?
Yeah. Oh man.
That was supposed to be pretty brutal.
Oh,
I just love
look
the
at this.
lettering in this.
Yeah.
It's almost like a jungle adventure. Kingdom of the Spiders.
Wow.
Woof,
I love that handwritten font that now on the top too. Like this ad's great.
Almost totally handmade.
Yeah.
Ruby. Aw.
Piper Laurie herself. Frightening in Carrie. Now terrifying in Ruby.
Another Dimension Pictures film, yeah.
I named my dog
What's that
after
at the bottom?
Piper.
Obsession.
Did you? What's your dog's name?
Piper, yeah. She's named
Piper.
after Piper Laurie, yeah.
That's beautiful. And what a lineup at the family drive-in. Did somebody say that?
Wow.
Twilight People.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that was another common co-feature for Kingdom of the Spiders, believe it or not, because Twilight People was pretty old at this point. That was like 72.
Yeah.
This is almost like, a keyhole design. But look at these films.
Yeah.
Oh, Death Dream.
It's Alive, little Larry Cohen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Death Dream. That's a great one.
Yeah.
It's Devil Within Her. That's the Joan Collins one with like 5 different titles, right? Like I Don't Want to Be Born and all. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sharon's Baby.
Oh. Wow.
Oh shit. Damn.
Can you believe I found this?
I can't believe this. This is amazing.
This is real. I did not Photoshop this.
Oh.
Trust me.
I can't even imagine the excitement that I would have knowing I was seeing both Messiah and Burnt Offerings in the same night.
Yeah. Boy, Auto Theater going hard.
Yeah.
Little Meredith. You can do it, Rock. You got it, Rock. Going back to Rock.
It's like they just peeked right into our brains.
Yeah.
This will get them excited in 2024.
They won't like it now, but your kids are going to love it. That's my Back to the Future rip. Wow. I love it.
I chose this because it displays one of my favorite annoyances in looking at these old ads. Is when people had to go just typeset the titles by themselves. They always would either put an S at the end of the word or remove an S that belonged there.
Yeah.
And hence we got bugs.
Oh, okay. I was like, is that bugs? And it was supposed to be bug? Or no, I'm like,
it is supposed to be bug.
Oh, okay.
But
I
it's
was like,
bugs.
bug. Oh, God. Okay.
I would just walk over and see Pound of Dreaded Sundown after Kingdom of the Spiders. I'm sorry. That seems like a good choice.
That'd be creepy, though. You'd be walking into the drive-in. You can't do that.
You never know.
Are you going to go just sit with somebody?
Yeah, I'll bring a lawn chair with me, and I'll just hang out.
You mind if I sit here?
Yeah. Mind if I join you guys? Oh, Bill, did you make this one up? Because this is definitely you too.
I did not. This is an actual find. I wouldn't have made it that blurry, so I apologize. You're not.
What's next? Martha playing with the playing with the Kingdom of the Spiders.
Nobody had a sudden onset of cataracts. It was just a blurry ad. But this is interesting because both of these films contain one of Sammy Davis Jr.'s wives.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. He actually.
Brit.
Yeah.
That's right.
Brit. Yep.
And it has your boy Cameron Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys done haunts on the show? On your show?
No.
No.
You guys should do it. It's great. It's great in the way that you guys would like it. If I wouldn't tell them that, other people would be like, is it? But it is.
It is great. Believe
I wouldn't tell like a relative like you should watch haunts. Oh my God, Bill! Again, how is this possible?
Wow.
Oh. Were you going nuts this week putting these ads together, Bill? Were you just like, I can't wait for Sam to see it?
Usually the ad segment's over by now, but obviously we have a lot to look at.
I love that movie so much. The Redeemer. I know Joe Rude can't even watch it because he gets upset.
He watched it with us.
Oh, yes, that's right. It's like he has extra thumb. What is going on? All over London.
He got over it. Yeah, this was 1978 by the time it played the UK and probably everywhere else too. And here it was with the Redeemer, one of the creepiest Omen riffs, I guess, or it's kind of slasher, kind of Omen.
Yeah.
Kind of, I don't know.
I love it.
Here we have some screamers in this ad. I love the screamers.
Yeah. In case you don't know who William Shatner is, he's the man from Star Trek. I hate quotes put into stuff. That's my big one, Bill. As a writer, I see that and I'm like, why are you doing this?
A 16 millimeter print of the Redeemer sounds fabulous.
Oh, wow.
Oh, distorted visions. Hey.
Yeah.
David, hi.
Oh.
Just to give you an idea of what else you could see with Kingdom of the Spiders, Bloody Fist.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what is Sparkle? And it was only playing Saturday night, a midnight movie. Sparkle.
That's that's not the Gladys Knight movie. It's another soul singer movie. But I think it's kind of like A Star Is Born. It's about just a fictional soul singer.
Oh, Sparkle.
Huh.
It's like Glitter. It's what Glitter was a remake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Glitter wishes
Becca
it
just
was
yelled
Sparkle.
at me. That was Becca's joke, just so you guys.
And I think this is the last one. A new species of horror is born.
Oh, wow.
Man. Bill, I got a list of some other stuff Dimension Pictures put out because these dudes did it. Yeah. Twilight People, which we saw in the ads. The Sin of Adam and Eve, Sweet Sugar, Group Marriage, The Doberman Gang, The Devil's Wedding Night, Joe D'Amato. Yay. Invasion of the Bee-Girls. I know that's a Bill favorite. Terminal Islands, Stephanie Rothman's movie. Daring Dobermans, Beyond Atlantis, Gator Bait, Single Girls, A Place Without Parents. What a dream. Tough, The Working Girls, Love in 3D. Whoa. Scum of the Earth. I'm not going to say the next title, but it starts with Boss. Brother, Can You Spare a Dime? Not Now, Darling. Dr. Minx, Dolomite, Lady Coco, Dr. Black, Mr. Hyde, Dixie Dynamite, Ebony, Ivory, and Jade, The Human Tornado, Black Shampoo, The Bad Bunch, The Mothers, Drive-In Massacre, Exit the Dragon, Enter the Tiger, Lover Doll, Super Dude, Return to Boggy Creek, Joey, Legend of the Wolf Woman, Ruby, yay. The Cheering Section, Tomcats, Bad Georgia Road, The Great Smoky Roadblock, Out of the Darkness, The Redeemer, almost done. High Riders, Smooth Velvet, Raw Silk, Swap Meet, The Great American Girl Robbery, Satan's Cheerleaders, The Greatest Battle, Screams of a Winter Night, Stone Cold Dead, and Dinner for Adele. That's some winners in that list there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw that AC put it in the chat that Bob Odenkirk played the owner of Dimension Pictures in the Dolomite movie that Eddie Murphy did, which makes a lot of sense. That scene when they go in his office, there's all the posters of their movies. And I was like, this is
right.
Eddie Murphy also will drop like Jodorowsky and different like directors in his interviews, which blows my mind. So I think it's cool that he did that. He knows older 70s movies. So kind of fun. Bill, that was the best ad gallery ever, by the way. I can't even tell you.
There were actually more.
Yeah. Oh my God. If only I saw that David said if there was a House That Vanished ad as part of it, that would have been made my life complete.
I probably could have found one.
We talk about the House That Vanished a lot because the tagline that is it too soon to talk about 72 is the blindest tagline. Like what? Like who is going to this movie just for that tagline? And it also says it's from those people. And you're supposed to be like, oh yeah, the people that produced the last
from that company.
That company. Yeah, like is that would bring Bill and I into the theater, but like this is for casual people to go see movies, not
that
like lunatics that like get obsessed about them. But it is never too soon to talk about 72.
Yeah. That was funny when I saw David comment there because I'm like, I think he's in my living room watching a marathon with my boyfriend. And I'm like, wait, is he on his phone commenting or did he go home? I don't know what he's doing.
Oh, man. This movie's got a great cast, though, Bill. You got Tiffany Bowling, who I know you love, Woody Strode, who I love, is in a ton of
Yeah.
stuff. And Altavis Davis got an introducing title, which is kind of big. Sammy
Which
Davis
is
Jr.
strange
third,
because
right?
she had been in so many movies before
Yeah.
this. I mean, this was not the first movie she was in. And in fact, she was in a movie that we just watched recently. You would think I would have this prepared or something. Like, this show caught me by surprise. I'm sorry. But my point is like, this was not her first movie. And if this was what she did, a press junket where she talked about being in Kingdom of the Spiders with kind of an eye roll, saying that Sammy Davis Jr. encouraged her to do it. And yeah. And she didn't do
in
much
Can't
else
Stop the
after
Music,
this.
Bill. That's what I know. She's in
That's
that.
the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But there was something before that too that I was like,
Welcome to Arrow Beach. I know she's in that.
That's the one.
Yeah.
AKA Tender Flesh.
Yeah.
A story of modern day cannibalism.
Yeah.
It's right up my alley.
Yeah. An early 70s movie about cannibalism is a Bill movie. That's I know.
A 1972 movie about
1972 is the year of cannibal movies for you. I know. So that's the year. It's Bill's other movie, guys. Or movies where like Bat People, where like nothing really seems to happen until the last 10 minutes, and you're just like, what is going on with this? But he just likes the mood of the movie, and like now that's rubbed off on me too. Where like I'll be watching something in the middle of the night, and like, I've been watching this movie for an hour and a half, nothing happens. You're gonna fucking love it. And he's like, yeah, I know, I've seen it. It's great. We just like the mood. Like the mood gets us in it, and we're chill with it, and we like it. Yeah. So
it's a rare quality to have these days. Most people don't. Most people can't get with that.
Yeah. Well, I think I've heard you talk about it on the show too. It's like if it's a newer movie, like it's a little different. If it's like shot, like it's so weird because like it's something that was made like in Spain 40 years ago or 50 years ago. I'll give it every chance in the world. But like if it was like Lisa Frankenstein made it like 10 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. This is fine. And then
they made it 10 more minutes than I did. Yeah. I was like, I'm not even going to try to see that movie because I know it's not for me.
I'm always like, maybe I should do a couple newer movies on the site. Like I watched Imaginary yesterday, and like it was so dark that I have no idea what happened. Like I don't know how it ended. Like I watched it twice. I went back and watched it again. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Yeah. And I'm like, and then I always think, I'm like, I'm taking time away from Jess Franco, and from the grave, he's going to be sad. I should just keep watching his movies.
Yeah, he's watching you. You should be watching his movies.
I should. Yeah, wouldn't that be great if I was being haunted by Jess Franco? What a person to be haunted by.
Doesn't everyone want to be haunted by Jess Franco?
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Right? Okay, just checking. I thought it was just me, but
I would not want to turn around and see Jess Franco in my bathroom at 3 in the morning.
That one picture of him smoking a cigarette, like that and the only picture that exists of Joe D'Amato. That's how I imagine his ghost is haunting me too. That picture of him reading the newspaper.
Yeah.
The ghost of Jess Franco is like, maybe you guys would like to see one of my movies that I shot in a hotel ballroom with a bunch of girls that just get naked, and I shot it on video camera, and it has no story. I'm like, oh, I've seen 12 of those, Jess. He goes, oh, I made 40, and I'm like, okay. Whoa.
A question from Sam Fibro Fox. Have any of you guys seen a movie where a giant moth absorbs dead bodies? I think it lives inside of a great big grandfather clock, maybe. It may be black and white. I saw it as a child in the early 70s.
Whoa.
Erica would remember that because she has a phobia of moths.
Yeah. And I would like to know the title of this so I can actively avoid it, because
I would like to know, actually send me the title so I can pick the movie for a potential episode, hopefully.
Stop it.
I hate moths too.
Thank
I'm right
you.
with you.
They're the worst. They have no point on this planet other
They
than
terrify me.
They're dusty and
fluttering around and putting their moth dust everywhere. God.
It's bad. Sorry.
My wife won't turn the light on the porch so that moths don't come into the house. And
Good
I'm
idea.
like, I am going to fall. And she's like, but the moths won't come in. So I guess
I'm siding with your wife on this one. I'm sorry, Sam.
Yeah.
Blood beast.
I fell outside of Bath and Body Works last week like an old man because I wasn't paying attention. As I have this like giant like cut in my knees. It was a lot bigger. My knees all cut up.
Yeah.
And some lady came out to see what happened. And like from the store, and like I'm bleeding everywhere, and I just was giggling because it was hilarious that this happened. And when I fell, I made a noise like oh, and my wife thought this was funny too. So imagine coming out of a store and seeing a man leaking blood, and just him and his wife giggling with each other. And she's like, "Is everything okay here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine."
Okay. Is your scented lotion okay though?
Yeah.
Okay, just
Yeah,
making
well,
sure.
I broke one of them. Yeah, one
Oh
of the
no.
yeah, because the soaps. Yeah, the soaps are important. I think that was my excuse. The one bag of soaps was heavier than the other, and it
There you
weighed
go.
me when I hit the curb. Yeah,
I
but
think
they
the
smell
movie is
great.
the Blood Beast Terror, the Moth
It
movie,
is.
because
Oh,
That's that old Peter Cushing movie, isn't it? I
That's,
remember.
Yeah.
Isn't that Bloody Beast of Terror?
I
Or
don't
is
know.
that Blood? I don't know. There's too
It's
many movies with blood in the
it's
title.
also known as The Vampire Beast Craves Blood. That's what it
Mm.
was called in the United States. But it comes out of a, I'm not sure if it's a grandfather clock, but there's like, it's a spoiler alert. It's a woman, a beautiful woman. And then one minute she's a giant
yeah.
death's head moth and she
Oh,
sucks your
You'll forget
blood.
about it by April, and then when you guys do
Oh.
April showers of blood next year, Lance will bring it back as
Oh,
a secret
God.
because it has
No,
blood in
no.
it.
You're
Come on,
supposed to know in the movie, so I'm not
Yeah.
spoiling it.
Oh, yikes.
Oh, well, now with that cheerful thought in our brains, let's go to the drink segment, shall we?
Mm.
Welcome to the Kingdom of the Spiders. This is the Camp Verde barking spider, the special spider. It's a spider, alcohol
That's our spider.
It's my little spider crawling around. Anyways, this one's got some alcohol in it, of course, but it has a lot. Ounce and a half tequila, ounce and a half of blue curacao, ounce of high proof rum. We're going with Cruzan Hurricane Proof. We got half an ounce of triple sec. Didn't have sweet and sour mix, so we've made our own. We're going to use lemon, lime, simple syrup, quarter ounce each of those, and OJ, half an ounce to an ounce. I went with an ounce. You can go with more if you want, like more of a fruity taste. Go with more of that. Go with your heart. Listen to your heart when it's calling your name. Anyways, ice first in the blender. Shout out to my wife, not just for filming this, but saying, I just cleaned this whole kitchen. Why do you want a blender? There we go. The drink starts blue. How will it end up? Like a poopy spider. There's our sweet and sour. Top by our OJ.
Lid.
Let's see.
Secure
Now,
lid.
most importantly, as always, for your wife's sake, make sure that you're not making a mess. Make sure that you have seals here and here. Make sure that your hand's here just in case. And we're going to do, what would you like to do with them? We got chop, mix, grate, I'm grating, blend, or liquefy. I think
You
blend.
said blend.
Blend.
Hold the top and press the button.
Ready? Pulse.
No, great.
Great.
So you're gonna have chunky ice.
That was great.
Okay.
Okay, now when you turn it this way. See, this is how you don't make a mess for your wife, because you'll end up cleaning it.
Other way.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
It's like the blue milk.
It is like the blue milk. Why do we have blue milk? Is what Shatner would say. Doesn't sound anything like it.
No, but still that.
Wait, turn out the logo. Oh, I do have the logo turned out. Okay, good. Anyways, this is it. Pazuzu to everybody out there. We're in Camp Verde, near Valverde, where Commando was at. Man, it's really good. The barking spider part comes up when the tequila sneaks up on you. It's maybe if you don't like tequila, maybe you'd want to put more orange juice in this. But nonetheless, I do like tequila. I started drinking it when I was 8. So enjoy the movie.
Pazuzu.
All
of
of
you.
Cubby has made an appearance that people wanted to see more of him. Many people got bit at the drive-in by him. And he is now
We
here. He ate
warned
a lot
them.
of French fries. He ate an entire hamburger. Yeah. And now he's back. He had his stroller. And he ate his, what did you say? He ate his weight in ground beef. 8.5 pounds of ground beef. He went to the vet last week. She said he's now 17 pounds. What did you Had a lot of ground beef and a lot of fingers. A couple children tried to pet him. Bad idea. He likes children maybe less than you, Erica. He does not like children at all.
Okay, well, I mean that's the same, but
Yeah.
I'll give it to him.
He said, if you do a sequel, I will write the forward to it. I like the white children.
You're gonna put a little paw print stamp on it.
Yeah, just a paw print. Our old dog used to be weirded out by kids. He would just be like, and not Cubby. Cubby's like, what are you? Oh, human. Yeah. And Mike Justice was able to pet Cubby. It was amazing. He was like,
but he had to sneak up on him.
He snuck up and he's like, well, you came the whole way from Portland. I'm not going to bite you. Other people that came from Cleveland, you will get bitten. Anyone that came from within a few hours away, you can get bit. But he had a good time.
I don't think Cubby knew that it was Mike petting him. I think that's what was going on there.
I think I was holding him and Mike just snuck around and just gave him a little pet, and it was good.
If he had known, he would have gotten bitten horribly.
He would have
mangled.
probably lost the finger, yeah.
Oh.
Boo Boo never bit you, did she?
Yeah, Vivi was eating her on leash too. It was intense.
She does that every time we go there. It drives me crazy. No matter what kind of leash we get her, she chews through it. And she manages to do it without demonstrating that that's what she says. She's sneaky about it. Like she just starts going like this. Like
you got to get her like a chain one, like she's like like a spike collar.
I know.
Like bring her out.
I don't want to get her a chain one, but I might have to.
No, she's too good of a girl.
Lance and Erica, I wanted to ask you guys, because since we have you cornered, Unsung Horrors, what is it about the lesser known movies that what is it that makes them so alluring, and what made you choose that as the focus of your podcast?
I mean, I think we just like to root for the underdogs in general. And, you know, I'm someone who I'm not spending time seeing new movies. So I'd rather spend my time watching old movies and discovering those and going backwards. And, you know, there's a lot of movies that I love. But even those, like, you know, a lot of the Italian horror, like, you know, anything Fulci, Argento, Bava, things like that, those all get covered. Not nearly as much as, you know, like Halloween and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street movies and things like that. But just, you know, shining a light where other people aren't really is what's, I think, important to us. And like, we've had some really great moments where some movies that we picked, we've actually heard from people involved with them. Like Lance picked a movie called The Passing, and the director actually like reached out to us afterwards and was stoked on it. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I forgot they're still alive. Some of these people. I was like, oh shit, glad I didn't say anything bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. I mean, we'll kind of critique the movie here and there, but we're always positive because all these movies are, I mean, I think every movie has charm. I mean, that's probably a fault on my own. You know, blood-sucking pharaohs from Pittsburgh. There's one. That's a bad example, but Dr. Heckle, Mr. Heckle, and
oh god,
Heckle and Hype.
You know, no,
a lot of my favorites.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, no, we champion. We always kind of push people to watch it on their own because, you know, everything's kind of subjective. You know, we could kind of pick apart a movie if we want, but we've had a lot of. I mean, being in Austin too, we've had a lot of great programming with Bleeding Skull being here and AGFA. So we've been introduced to a lot of films, and I feel like it's, I don't know, I love being introduced to something new. And I think the under 1,000 views on Letterboxd rule that we use is a good, it's a good chance that a lot of people listening have never seen the movie. So I think it's good to just introduce a lot of these films that are out there.
That's really awesome to hear you say that, because that's kind of the way that we feel when we program the movies here. We often have those discussions. Like, you know, we've tried doing the high profile stuff like Phantasm. I think we did. That was like, what are some other high profile movies? We did the Argento.
Like Deep Red, yeah, and a few others like that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with those though.
Yeah, it's like I love those movies, but like, let's, you know, they get attention from everyone knows them, you know. It's like let's you know, let's put Shatner and some tarantulas in the spotlight here for a little bit, you know.
Well, we always think too, it's like everybody said everything about these movies, like what can we add to the conversation, versus like we showed like the Carillion Witness, aka The Plants You're Watching, and it's like, how many people have seen that? And it's like, and I love it, but it's like, it's a giallo plant movie. Who else wants that? And I think that's what's kind of cool. Where like, Chris brought up like Madison Lace and a few of the other ones we've shown, and it's like I like these kind of movies that maybe nobody has, not that a couple hundred people have watched this in the last 2 or 3 years versus thousands a day, and it's like it's kind of cool to like discover those.
Yeah, and like, and there's never like a sense of like wanting to get there first and like make sure like we're the ones who brought this to people, that sort of thing. But like you said, or at least I don't have anything new to offer to the discourse about Halloween. Like, oh my God, you guys know that the mask was William Shatner. Like, I don't want to have those conversations. I don't want to talk about movies that have been talked about ad nauseum. I want to talk about obscure movies, shine some light on some people that, not even, it doesn't even have to be the director necessarily. It could just be, sometimes we just focus heavily on an actor in there and like go down a rabbit hole of like some of their films. And sometimes a side watch that I'll like that movie more than the movie we're actually covering sometimes. So like I'm able to find stuff for myself too, just in the course of doing stuff for the podcast episode. And we want to encourage other people to do the same. It's like spend time looking at people's filmographies and seeing what else they did. It's like, did you like this? Like, let's see what else they're in. What else is sticking out to you and looks intriguing to you?
Yeah, the stuff is out there. It's more accessible than it's ever been.
Yeah.
A lot of times you had to order these on a bootleg from a bootleg catalog, up until very, very recently, when a lot of the stuff started getting uploaded. And I don't know, are either of you a member of Cinemageddon?
Yeah, I am. I pass stuff on to him sometimes when I download it. But I'm the same. Like I used to, I'm surprised I'm still alive because I have sent my address to strangers on the internet multiple times as a young woman to get movies and like get bootleg movies. I'm still here. But yeah, like even if you don't have Cinemageddon, there's places like, Archive and rarefilm.com, and YouTube has like almost everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cinemageddon's been really great for like really obscure, especially like a lot of the foreign stuff, for the most part.
And we usually select movies that are streaming somewhere, if it's on YouTube or Cave of Forgotten Films or something, somewhere where you can find it. Sometimes we apologize if like only Eric has a copy or something, but we usually shoot for something that somebody can just access it and listen to listen to our episode.
Yeah.
You guys put me on the hunt for Carla Mancini and why she was in so many movies. I was like obsessed for a while to find it.
You found some article in Italian. I was like, Sam did it.
Yeah. It's crazy. I always kind of assumed that some of those names were listed. The CSE names were a tax credit thing, but to find out, I was like, wow, I don't know who else would have known. So I had to keep finding. But she is in a ton of. Sometimes she really is in the movies. I have seen her. I know what she looks like.
Yeah,
but it's like I like when like, oh, she's in this crowd scene in Mondo Candido for a half a second.
It's our girl.
It's the Where's Waldo of Italian cinema.
Yes.
Yeah. My favorite thing now is we've been watching a lot of Murder, She Wrote, and the same actors from 80s Italian stuff show up. Like John Saxon will show up as a cop, and it's like,
oh yeah, that's my boy.
Yep. I do have to say one last thing.
Fan?
Yeah.
Erica loves John Saxon.
Yeah, my heart broke when he died. Like, I mean, I had people messaging me all day the day that John Saxon died. Like, are you okay, Erica? And I was not. I was 100% not okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing for like for her birthday, I would say like send her pictures of, this was I think before, I don't know, but send pictures of John Saxon or Franco Nero, like really pick her, give her a great day. She loves her John Saxon.
Yeah,
Franco Nero's on an album that came out this week. The new Uncle Acid album is a Giallo soundtrack, and he's on it, and Edwige Fenech are both in it, and it's a whole movie within the album, but like with their songs. And Franco Nero is the hero in the on the album. It's all in Italian too. It's the like I read an interview with the lead singer. He's like, "Yeah, we don't really sell that many records, so you know what? I'm just going to do whatever I want." And I was like, cool.
All right.
Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
exactly what-
we went down his his music career a little bit when we talked about the Third Eye for
Yeah,
a bit.
a little bit.
Yeah,
My mom's always like, oh, the guy, he was in Camelot, and that's what I know him from. And I'm like, oh, well, I know him from way worse movies than that.
I saw that new Russell Crowe Exorcist movie because he was in it. Like,
Oh, because he's the Pope in it.
yeah, I was like, I'll watch that because fucking Franco Nero's in it, and I'm not
Yeah.
paying for it. It was on an airplane, so I was like, all right. And it was terrible, but I got to watch Franco Nero.
I only saw it at WrestleMania last year. They sponsored it, so Russell Crowe introduced the match, which was the weirdest thing. Like, he's like, I'm Russell Crowe from The Pope's Exorcist. This is Edge. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Or what was his weird? Doesn't he have a band like 30 Odd Foot of Grunt or something?
Yeah.
He could have said that. I'm
30
Russell
Foot of
Crowe from
Grunt?
30 Odd Foot of Grunt.
30 Odd Foot of Grunts, yes.
Oh wow, that's a name.
Yeah.
So
And now
Sam-
he's the Pope's exorcist, as the state would say.
Sam Fox wants to know, do you watch modern horrors like the new Exorcist and Omen movies, and who do you think is the best horror director today?
Ooh.
I don't. If I see them, then that's because I got dragged to them by my boyfriend who wants to enjoy them ironically.
Or you hear that there might be a child.
Or yeah, someone tells me there's a dead kid and I got it, and then I have to see it. But I don't.
I haven't watched anything new lately. I mean, as far as like favorite new horror directors, I do like Jordan Peele movies.
Yeah.
I like Ari Aster.
I
think
like his movies.
he has some tension stuff. And I consider like Alex Garland actually kind of a horror movie, a sci-fi horror with Annihilation and stuff.
Yeah.
And that Crazy Men movie.
I mean, I know some people don't consider it a horror movie, but In Fabric, I really liked. I love Peter Strickland. Duke of Burgundy is probably one of my favorite films of the last 10 years. And it's only 4.5 stars on my letterbox because there's way too many moths in that movie. Otherwise it is a 5-star movie though. I don't really, I saw Immaculate and I was like, I appreciate the Bruno Nicolai needle drop and that they shot it via Parisi and all that stuff. But, it's just, I just don't like the way that new horror movies look. Like, I like movies shot on film. I like ugly characters, like physically, like not attractive. I mean, obviously there are plenty of very attractive people in movies, but you look at something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, no one in that is great looking. And I just, everything is too polished and pretty to me now. And when they're trying to be retro and like, oh, this takes place in the 80s, but the characters have like perfectly straight hair and plucked eyebrows. And I was like, absolutely not. Your hair needed to be crimped and out to here, and your eyebrows were not plucked. So little things like that really take me out of it. And it just doesn't interest me. I'd rather spend my time, digging around in in the 70s and finding stuff I haven't seen there before, or revisiting old favorites from those decades.
Chris mentioned Robert Eggers. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. I like I do like Robert Eggers. So yeah, I mean, there are people working today whose films I do like and I'll see, but I just, any of the more modern stuff, like the Exorcist movies, like, who did the Halloween? David Gordon Green. Oh my God, that guy.
I don't know why.
Stop him.
Who? How? Why? Where? That's what I want to know.
Becca is the biggest Halloween fan in the world. Her whole leg is Halloween tattoos, and I've never seen her angrier in the theater. Not at me. During the Halloween sequels, I just looked over at one point and I'm like, "You hate this, don't you?" She's like, "I'm so angry right now. Like, this is horrible."
I enjoyed his first one, but yeah, the kills and ends, no, they just.
There was like one whole sequence where they were talking about Halloween. She just yelled Halloween sucked. The banh mi sandwich discussion that went on for like 10 minutes, and I was like, yeah, and it's like I like that it's just.
That was like Danny McBride. You can say I could see him writing that. Danny McBride writing that scene.
Yeah. I saw someone mention Ty West. He's another one. No, so here's the thing. There's directors working today. Ty West, Joe Begos. I hate their movies. I appreciate them as fans though, because I've read some of like their interviews and like them mention like things that they're referencing in their films, and even Joe Begos's last, the Christmas one, that I was just,
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah.
oh my god, it just I was like, oh my god, we're stuck with this woman. She's our final girl here. But they have all like the vinegar syndrome, like Easter eggs throughout. And I was like, okay, he has good taste, but I hate his movies. I hate his dialogue. I just the way that characters are written, I don't care about any of them anymore. And so with Ty West, I can appreciate him as, a fan, and like maybe he would be someone like I would, and have a good conversation with, but I don't want to see his movie or any of them anymore. I've seen a few and I'm like, not for me.
I liked House of the Devil.
Okay.
I always feel like that about some people. Like when I read their interviews, I'm like, cool, they got good references, but did they watch any of these movies?
Or did they just see the poster or the like the box at the VHS store? And I get that sense. It's like they want to have those reference points, but I don't know. I don't spend too much time.
I'm not going to make fun of Glenn Danzig, but he did say, like, I've been watching a lot of Bava movies when he made his 2 movies. And I'm like, oh, you're watching Lombardo's movies, not Mario's. Like, I actually really like his movies. I heard you talk about him on one of the episodes.
Oh my God.
He's the closest thing we have to Bruno Mattei alive today, and he needs to just keep doing them. Like,
everyone, please, yes, buy his movies, give him more money so he can keep doing this. He's getting better, people. He is. You can watch this in real time. You can watch someone actually get better with each film.
Who was on when what's his name was on from Chicago? He actually did the premiere.
What's his name?
No, I'm yeah, you know who I mean. Our friend.
I'm brain dead. John McDevitt.
John. I was gonna say Chris. I talked to people at the drive-in and said the wrong names, so this is a good time to call me out on it. I'm good with references and movies, bad with names. John, from our friend from Chicago. He did the premiere of the first Danzig movie, and he said,
Veronica.
And you've never seen an audience turn on stuff. And then he had to get up and do a talk after. And he said he felt really bad for him because it was just every question was ridiculous. Of like making fun of him. Like, he doesn't need that. Come on.
Yeah.
He was in Sam Hain. He can do whatever he wants. But what he wants to do is make movies.
Good for him.
Yeah.
And he is a fan. Like I've met him a few times at when I used to live in California. He was always at San Diego Comic-Con. And he's just a huge nerd. And he's flying that nerd freak flag right now, and good for him. I'm not making a movie. Like, I'll, hate on all these other movies, but like Danzig gets a pass. Fucking Danzig.
Yeah.
I've never seen one of his movies.
The other one, his name was Bat Bathory in the last movie. And and as soon as that came up on screen as his title, I was like, I love this movie. I don't care how bad it is. Like, there was like scenes where like the green screen was off and there was no audio and the music was cutting into it. And I was like, I don't care. I love it. It's great. You got Simon Bisley to do the poster. He's a geek with money.
Yeah,
if you got that much money, you can hire like great comic book artists to do your stuff, and you're done. Like, you're fine.
Yeah.
Many thanks to our special guests tonight, Lance Schibi and Erica Shultz from Unsung Horrors. Make sure to check out Erica's book, The Sweetest Taboo.
Thank you.
Sean, thank you so much for putting the link up earlier. And I love that your icon was a Pittsburgh potty.
Yeah.
Which probably a lot of people didn't understand.
Yeah, you guys don't know if being from Austin. In Pittsburgh, we have toilets in our basement with no walls. Because when you came home from the mill, you just went to the toilet in the middle of the basement, and then went upstairs. Yeah, Pittsburgh potties, they're called. I had one in my old living room when I lived in Squirrel Hill. It was literally in the 3rd floor of the house, and it had a curtain around it, so you could watch TV while going to the bathroom. It was super convenient.
Okay.
Yeah.
And thanks for choosing Kingdom of the Spiders for tonight's movie. I posted the link on Groovy Doom, by the way. I forgot to mention that earlier. It should be up. It's on YouTube. You can go watch it there. I'm sure it's on Tubi if you prefer to watch it there.
It is on Tubi.
All right.
Yes.
And thanks again, guys, for being on the show. It was a lot of fun. I hope you
Yeah.
enjoyed it too.
Thank you so much for having us. It's a joy. You guys are great.
Yeah, love talking to you, Bill and Sam.
Awesome.
All right. So come back afterwards. Everyone in the chat will be here after Kingdom of the Spiders.